everything is red and it's scary looking. And so I'm gonna run this. What did I call this? So, oh yeah, let me go back to that for real. So here's my verb and here's my noun. So actually what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do that. And I'm gonna change this to that. And I'm gonna remove that. Hopefully this works. I haven't tried this. Did something. There's no output because there is no output in the class. I couldn't figure out how to output anything to the output window when I was doing my research. But boom, there we go. You replaced it on the home item. So basically, I just hopefully gave you a little taster of how this stuff works. There's a lot more information out there that was built by, written by Alistair Denny's on Revolver. You can go download it from the marketplace here. There's lots of documentation about it here on, I think, CodeFlow. And Alistair blogs about this regularly on his Coffee Coder Code blog. Lots of rich information there. You tweeted something last night, Dan, about how he showed a way to parse a text file and populate like 50 states into like a folder using like one command. It was magical. Oh, I was completely impressed. I was completely baffled by it too. Anyways, Sitecore PowerShell extensions, you can go download it from the marketplace here. Lots of resources about this. So Adam Naimonovich has a whole web page that's huge with all kinds of links about PowerShell, about his module, about the whole console module he built. There's tutorial videos by Michael West, who's been working on the PowerShell project recently. I watched them all. They're very rich. I learned a lot from them. And then Adam also writes on his blog, which he calls Codality. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with me. Here's my email at medtouch. You can tweet me. You can read my blog. I'm going to start blogging about this stuff later because I see lots of food for thought out here. Lots of good stuff here. Any questions? Tim?
Do you need both of them, or or is just one good enough?
I would say it depends on what you need. You don't need them both. If you want them both, that'd be awesome. But really, you just need one scripting thing. It depends on your requirements. So for instance, in PowerShell, I can whip up instances of objects from the .NET library, but a Revolver, I can't do that. But you might not need that. That might be overkill for your requirements. You might just need that to do simple, operations on Sitecore items. And I think, Revolver is perfect for that. And get a lot of syntactical sugar with that. PowerShell has a lot of power in it. You can leverage anything in PowerShell within this. I saw a command to reload to another computer, and I saw it within, SPE, and I think that's overkill for most operations. But I mean, if you want to do Kevin Nick type things, go for it. But I think it's overkill. But like I said, it depends on your requirements.
Nice.
Yeah.
Two things on that. I think PowerShell has the ability to bind a script or a command to a button on a ribbon, which starts to open up possibilities of implementing features for clients.
Right.
I just saw that as a topic on a blog, so I haven't actually worked through the steps.
I actually missed a step here. I actually had that.
Oh, okay.
So for my custom script here, you execute the script and then you get the current item and you pass it to my function. And then you put this in this directory here and it adds it to the item context menu magically. Looks like I need to stop clicking it. So I do this and then I do scripts, expand tokens. And it runs it. And then it's done. Even though there's nothing yet. It is pretty cool. One thing I also want to show you that I forgot to, Adam was really adamant that I show you this because it's a really interesting feature. He built some reporting tools out of the box in PowerShell. So you can look at different things here in your solution. So you can look at, hey, I need to assign icons to these templates, you're missing them. So you can run this and boom.
There's one of them added is that regular expressions are built into Revolver, so you can do really powerful stuff with graph or looking for stuff that has spaces or anything you can do with regular expressions, you can do inside the Revolver context version has a lot of power.
You can also run a Sitecore query in Revolver as well. So I can say, hey, I want to get all these templates that live under here, items with this template that live under here recursively, and then you can like set that over to another command and run things on that.
And searches against the index,
Right.
which is going to be important with Sitecore 7.
Any other questions?
So when you were deleting things with either Revolver or the PowerShell, if there were references to one of those items that you were deleting, is that a broken reference?
I haven't tested that. I'm assuming it would be, but I don't know. I think it just deletes it and doesn't put it in the recycle bin, it just gets rid of it. In Revolver, you can specify not deleting it and put it in the recycle bin, but you can also say, hey, I want to just get rid of it completely. PowerShell, I don't know.
Did you want to go into the help under the remove command? Because I thought I saw something.
Yeah, there was like I think it was like a, hey, don't put this in the recycle bin. I think there was
There's some functionality around the links database. I'm not sure if it's there. There's definitely a link in there.
Yeah, there is a links command. Let's go links.
I guess you could build a script that ran that first and then only deleted it if there's something after that.
Right. Any other questions?
Did you get to testing of the Revolver when I watched the video from Alistair? He was able to take a define function on the block and then run that on a set. Did you see that at all?
I haven't even experimented with that. I didn't even know you could do that,
Yeah,
to be honest. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, just a general feeling on your part. I mean, like, you know, part of that, which you just showed us, the scripting language, I don't know if it is a language, I guess I can understand the Revolver stuff that you were doing to some degree. Then you were saying about sugar, and I'm just asking for your opinion about, like, if you want to not use up a large quantity of your brain space on this stuff, and you want to get into one or the other, do you have a preference?
I would say if you're not comfortable with, you know, let's say Unix or Linux or anything like that, I would definitely, you know, kind of say, hey, you should gravitate to PowerShell. But, and you know, like I said, you have the ability to do .NET, you know, things in PowerShell as well.
Huge ecosystem in comparison. I'd say you're better off memorizing the commands here, even if you're not familiar with Linux syntax.
Right.
And going with Revolver. Because Revolver, you know, is very focused on Sitecore functionality.
It was just built for Sitecore. It's just a language for Sitecore in particular. I mean, PowerShell is built for Windows.
Yeah.
You know, you can do dangerous things in Sitecore, and you might not want to do that. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I'll just take a quick contrarian point of view. I found it got fluent, I should say, in Revolver very quickly. And I don't know, maybe there's a mental block with PowerShell, but I can never remember the syntax for that. With Revolver, I just sort of quickly get it picking it up. So I think if, again, you're going to build out an ecosystem, definitely, I think PowerShell's the way to feature. But if you want to quickly start doing some editing and querying and recycling, I would not just discount Revolver.
I wouldn't either, because I think it's, you know, there's a lot of power there, and I think that might just give you enough of what you need to do within Sitecore. PowerShell stuff, I think, might be overkill sometimes.
Another argument I'd say is if you're familiar with PowerShell, you can carry that over into your Windows environment. And something that I started doing is I started scripting in my Windows environment in PowerShell. There's a lot of carryover. If you're familiar with Linux, there's a lot of carryover.
Good point.
Is there any way to customize the witty quips that come off the PowerShell when you run it?
To which one?
You ever jump to the PowerShell? Every time you run a command, there's just something kind of like silly.
I actually don't know. There's a config file that you can override things. You can like override commands. There are a lot of like events too as well. I haven't dug into them. I'm assuming that hopefully they're customizable. They're probably buried in code. I mean, they might. It could be in the core database as well. There are things in core for settings. I haven't looked at that. I like the silly comments though. They're awesome. Any other questions?
There's not much of a safety net with this stuff.
There isn't, so there's not really a rollback. I mean, I'm assuming you might be able to do some transactional things in .NET and PowerShell, but I haven't tried that out.
Mentioned Revolver, oh, go ahead.
Right. And I guess in Revolver, I guess, or either one, is there a way to restrict like certain commands, certain roles? For example, you don't want to give a junior developer the right to remove everything, but you want to give them the right to list things or act on them.
I didn't really look at that. I'm hoping there is. Well, there's right here. You can define rules, but there's nothing like right here.
Is it PowerShell or Revolver?
You don't want.
I don't.
Well, Revolver, you can you can do it on custom scripts. You can say, I want only this role to see this script or run this script, but you know, there's
RM's
something.
available in the,
Right.
That's right. Out of
If
the
you-
box, can you like restrict RM from certain people while you can?
Not out of the
If
box.
they're running as admin, and if they're a developer, they probably are, you're fucked. I mean, if you don't trust your coworkers, do not install this stuff. Seriously, and if you don't know what you're doing, do not install this, because you'll be restoring your SQL database backups if you have this. You can completely hose someone's installation with this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's called Revolver for a reason. Exactly that reason. It's your foot,
I was thinking head, but.
Dev environment, keep it out production.
Yeah, practice first.
Anybody else?
Here's people's take. Is this, I mean, just based on Rick's feedback, is this something that people see as becoming part of people's development environments and work practices, or is this something that his senses is just too dangerous for a Sitecore install?
I take it as a
I would-
yes.
A resounding yes, it is something people need.
If I find this installed on a customer's system, that guy is canned
that is-
immediately.
Well, actually, I mean, I'm asking that. I got some SEO people I'm offering privileges, and it would be nice to give them like a few commands so they can like see some reporting instead of asking me for it. That's why I was wondering if there's a way to configure this so without having to build a custom.
Can you call these from the command line?
What's that?
Can you call some of these?
Well, we're
scripts
looking at
from
Shed that you can put in the ribbon and
flash
stuff.
files?
Yeah.
I
Put
haven't
something in
tested
the
that.
ribbon, yeah. So,
I mean, from like DOS?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, so you can set up like a
C#.
once a day task that would hit this thing and run some scripting.
I haven't looked into that, so I'm not sure.
I think both of them, not yet, but they're on the roadmaps for both products.
I'd say, Bob, that if you're reaching to simplify a commonly occurring task to a non-admin, a non-developer, at that point in time, you're probably better off, because think about it. So you've got the administrator setting up all the rules. You've got the administrator training them on how to use something like this without shooting them. You're better off writing a custom command and binding it to a button. I mean, this is not a consumer tool.
I think the presence of grep, like the number of times that, like being able to grep through content and find, like, where's every instance of that word? I want to change it to this word. Like I could imagine that'd be really useful from strictly from a programmer standpoint.
That's what I use the Sitecore Rocks one for. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Going through old code and looking for the old image tags or the old media query strings. Trying to replace them with new ones.
And that has a lot of the functionality that says as well. This is whichever tool you get used to. But I just have to say, I mean, I've just been playing this since the weekend. Just being able to do CD, and you can jump around from languages, you can jump around through versions. Having that kind of fluid response is awfully nice, because I mean, that is one real pain point with Sitecore, is just that blue spinning circle. One other thing that's really nice, if you could open up I just found this killer. You go open, in a good way, open up Revolver. Okay, now we're in master.
Yep.
CD/core/Sitecore. Now this isn't core. Now do content editor, content-editor. Now you have a content editor that's pointing to core open at the same time as you have a content editor open to
Wow.
master,
Whoa.
which is
That's-
so nice.
That's
Yeah,
really
it's-
awesome.
Wicked thing.
I actually was trying to build something that does this on my own.
And you can do, we can also go back to our command prompt now.
Is that gonna get you in trouble with the
I think
state
that's why
of
you
the
have this,
window?
I think that the window has its own state, that's why you have that context switcher thing probably going on. Go back to,
Fiddler knows for sure.
now go,
Like, save, delete.
now go cd slash, very useful, just type cd slash sy.
That's right.
Not slash, just cd sy. Okay, cd slash m. So it doesn't do, that's one of the modules. MOD. So that does speed you up.
Yeah.
And now cd, and now you can, basically what I'm gonna get to is if you do content editor here, it'll open up a content
Actually,
editor.
no. Use this.
And then it opens up straight to Remind. So that's the way I would, when I was hacking around with scripts, and I was in master, I would just go over, pull up the scripts in the separate content editor, and start playing with it. That's a real time saver.
That is awesome.
One thing you have to be careful though is if you forget to do this, if you switch to core, and you put a lot of things in your system, because you can create system variables in your space. I want to save this ID to home ID, and I want to save this presentation to home presentation. You got all this stuff sitting in your environment variables. If you switch to core, it all goes away.
Hmm.
That wasn't fun. So just